Good morning. This is Heather Blackman coming to you from the entrance of Beaver Creek and see the covered bridge behind me all lit up as things are still coming awake over here. We've got so much fun to share with you today, including a giveaway. So make sure you've got your phones ready so you can be eligible for that. And Vail Valley Live starts right now.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Vail Valley Live. I'm Trisha Swenson here in the Vail Valley Live studios in the Grand Hyatt Vail, just west of Lions Head. We just saw Heather Blackman. She is reporting from Beaver Creek today. So we'll let you know what's happening over at the Beeve, what the weather's going to be like, different options on what you can do after the slopes close. And as she mentioned, we've got that ticket giveaway. So if you like classic piano, we've got it for you tonight. But let's give you a little idea of how the show is going to work today. If you want to chat with us, let us know where you're watching from, or if you have any questions, or if you're coming here soon, you can do so. When we're live, you can chat on YouTube and Facebook. Otherwise, you can watch the show at any time throughout the day, throughout the world on YouTube and Facebook. And then we're live, of course, daily on Outside Television. And that's our local Comcast channel 17. So in case you've been watching us on your phone and your laptop or your tablet, yep, you can get it on your regular TV at home as well. And pay attention to the crawl at the bottom of the screen here. It's going to let you know it's been groomed in the last 24 hours at Vail and Beaver Creek. We get that straight from the resort. So what they put on their website is what we're giving you right here. You know, they used to have that tagline, Vail, the most grooming on the planet, and that kind of thing. They've been doing a little changes. I mean, I've lived here a long time. I used to have my favorite runs, and I knew what days they were groomed. Things have changed, you know, so it's good to take a look at what's groomed in the last 24 hours. This is based on labor and, you know, just different things that they're working on. Maybe they're doing a winch cat operation on one place. They need a little extra time. Sometimes they'll close down a portion of a run. And if you are maybe, you know, skinning or hiking or snowshoeing up at night and you run into a winch cat, you'll see it. You'll see the signs. You'll see the signs first, big flashing lights telling you to get out of the area. So get out of the area. You don't want to be anywhere near those winch cats because those cables are super long and really can cause a lot of havoc. We don't want any injuries out there. So just if you are going to be hiking up at night or doing some skinning at night, please do keep that in mind. But let's let you take a look at the weather right now and give you an idea of what is going on today. So starting at 11 a.m., we're going to be in a winter weather advisory, and that'll go all the way through Wednesday at 5 p.m. So mid-morning tonight and Wednesday, we're looking at a big chance of snow. And we could see some good accumulation out of this. Currently, when I drove in today, about 25 degrees. Right now, we're looking at about 12 on mountain for Beaver Creek and 11 up on the mountain in Vail. We'll see our temperatures reach into the 30s later on today. So once the sun gets a little higher in the sky, well, we won't really probably see the sun, but once the day goes on, we'll see the temperatures start to rise. And then winds, not too bad out there, but we're looking for maybe 1 to 3 today, another 3 to 7 tonight, and another 2 to 4 tomorrow. So that could equal a good powder day. And then tomorrow we'll have a high right around 24 degrees. And then Thursday we'll start to see a little bit of the sunshine before we get into Friday. Friday we'll have a 30% chance of showers, mainly later in the morning after 11 a.m. Otherwise mostly cloudy skies. And then by Saturday, hey, mostly sunny and a high near 29. So that's what it looks like for the week. So definitely be prepared for some slippery roads and maybe some visibility issues on the slopes and on the road, especially in the higher elevations. And look at this. So according to Open Snow, if we start adding up what's happening today, tonight, into tomorrow, we could maybe come out with about a foot of snow at Beaver Creek, close to that at Vail. So it just keeps getting better. So we got 1 inch of new snow in the last 24 hours at Vail and Beaver Creek. So we're at what? I think 184 inches. If we get another 10, 11 on time with that, I think we will surpass the 200 mark at Vail, and we'll get close to it at Beaver Creek. We're at about 169 inches season to date, but another foot on top of that. Wow, this is just an incredible time to be here. And if you don't know how to ski in these kind of conditions, it's always good to maybe hop in a lesson so you can enjoy the fun. But I want to thank the outlets at Silverthorne for this weather and mountain report. The lifts are opening at 8:30, and we're going to stay open till 3:30 on Vail Mountain. The Back Bowls and Blue Sky Basin close earlier than that. And then over at Beaver Creek, Main Mountain, that stays open till 4, but Arrowhead and Bachelor Gulch, they do close at 3:30. So just plan accordingly. If you're way over at Arrowhead, make sure you get on that lift. Otherwise, you can use the ride app and get a dial ride, but it's just easier if you could work your way back to the main mountain. But let's talk about Beaver Creek right now. Let's take it out to Heather. She's standing by in Beaver Creek Village, and it's so cute right there. I just love
Yeah.
that covered bridge, and the creek right down from there, and the rocks. They just have like
Oh, yeah.
pillows of snow. It's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
They looked very much like that yesterday when we had all that nice fresh powder. And like you said, it's a really unique look. I think actually Beaver Creek posted it on their Instagram. So if you guys haven't seen what Trisha and I are talking about, you should definitely look at that too, because it's gorgeous.
And you know what? And that is Beaver Creek right there. A lot of people are like, "Hey,
Yes.
What's that called?" That is actually Beaver Creek. Beaver Lake is the hike you could do in the summer. And that goes all the way down right next to Mirabelle Restaurant and the golf course. I've lost several
Yeah.
golf balls in that creek. And then that creek actually flows right down into the Eagle River. So it kind of just follows the whole eastern parameter. When you're driving up and the golf course is there in those homes, that's where the creek ends up going.
And if you keep going past Beaver Lake, you can actually get to Turquoise Lakes above that, which I've actually backpacked at in the summertime before.
Oh,
So
okay, so
lots
like,
of places.
oh, that's so cool. How long does that take from
Yeah.
Beaver Lake? I've always wondered about that.
I want to say it's another 2 to 3 miles if my memory is correct. So it's definitely an aggressive hike up, right? Because it's uphill the entire way. You don't really get a break, but it's really pretty up there, especially kind of when the sky is clear and you can just see everything. And it's very quiet, which is my favorite part of backpacking. You're kind of out of everything. And then it's neat when you come back down and you've got your pack on. And there's people, lots of people just do day hike up to Beaver Lake. And you get to
Yes.
see everybody and you kind of feel kind of cool because you did a little bit more.
Yeah, you did. Oh, yeah. And it's nice to be able to actually go up and camp up there. But hey, I know we're talking about
Yeah.
summer. Let's get back to winter.
I know.
You went out yesterday, right?
Oh, yes. And it was fantastic. So we actually just stayed kind of in a smaller area than we typically do just because the snow was so good. There was no necessary reason to go everywhere on the mountain. So we were here at Beaver Creek. We started at Strawberry Park, went through the woods in Thresher's Glades, which is one of my favorite spaces on the mountain. You will typically find my favorite spaces involve lots of trees because there's always lots of powder still hidden inside of that. And so that was wonderful. We actually ended the day back there and it was still quite good in there. So I would bet that today is still nice if you are a tree skier or rider like me. We also headed over to McCoy Park. I think it's becoming less of a secret that there's also some nice powder stashes in the trees around there. They're all green runs, but there is so much variety. I think it's something that's really fun on these days where you're looking for a little extra powder.
Yeah, you know what? At Strawberry Park, you're just right there. That's right off the backside.
Yeah.
McCoy, so it's easy to get to and from. And then once you get out of McCoy, you can still make your way over to Larkspur Bowl. Like that whole kind of western side of Beaver Creek, I think it's just being navigated in a whole new way because of McCoy Park.
Yeah. Completely. I think it makes it way easier to get from one side of the mountain to the other, especially as a snowboarder, because now you don't need to do that long catwalk. That's a tricky one, even if you know it's there. And so you can just pop into McCoy Park, come back up. I think it's Reunion that takes you back up to the top of Strawberry. way easier to get from one side to the other. So if you haven't been back there, don't let the green train fool you. It's still a great place to explore.
I know, it definitely is. And then we've got a lot of activities going on up at Beaver Creek. You know, they've got their family entertainment, whether it's Helmut Fricker playing. We've got Ken Carpenter doing caricatures throughout the week. Billy Doran will be doing his Fossil Posse talks, talking about dinosaurs and how they roamed the area. This weekend, they've got their Beaver Creek snowshoe series beginning. Now, have you ever done this? Have you ever done the snowshoeing around Beaver
No.
Creek?
Well, I used to snowshoe McCoy Park before it
Yeah.
was a steep hill. So we would snowshoe through there and actually even just do some runs through there with micro spikes on. So I explored there a little bit before. Haven't been back now since they've opened that new terrain, but there is tons of family friendly stuff. I always recommend friends maybe come up here who don't ski and just enjoy some of the other snow sports that we have.
Yeah, yeah. You know what? We were just talking to John D'Angelo with the Grand Hyatt, and he was, they were taking a lesson, he and his wife, and and if you don't ski, there is a lot of things to do. So I think
Plenty.
snowshoeing, cross country, right across the way from where you are, the Strawberry Park
Hmm.
building and the condos there, that's and the Medical Plaza, that is the Nordic Center, and yeah, like it looks a lot different because McCoy Park has these lifts now, but I used to go up there and go out over to the Overlook, which
Hmm.
was a great
Yeah.
place to go cross country skiing or snowshoeing. They've got the guided snowshoeing, they've got the lessons for the Nordic and telemark, and then I think they brought back the it's kind of like a wine and cheese tour. So you go
Ooh, I
snowshoeing,
think I have seen that.
and then you come back down and right next to, just like about 10 feet away from the Strawberry Park lift, is the Osprey, and they have their fireside grill, and you go in there and you try different wine samples. You've got some great charcuterie to try. So there are ways to enjoy the outdoors without having to go downhill like on a ski or snowboard. So
Absolutely. I know when I was at the top of the main lift, and I can't think of the name of it right now, but you still see the signs. They're right there. There's multiple still snowshoe tracks that you can take that get you to a part of the mountain that those of us who are on skis or a board actually can't get to. So you
yeah.
get to explore a little different space. I think it's a really neat way to see the mountain. Maybe just something different too for a day off. If you're here visiting for a week, sometimes it's nice to rest the legs a little bit, and you could still check that out.
Yep, and you know what? With the snowshoe series, so it changes spots each month. There'll be one, this weekend. There's one next month and the following month. So they're going to do this out at Creekside Park. So this is below where you are. Okay, so you go
Yep.
down and even below the Vilar Center. And there's a little gazebo down there and everything. And what you'll do, you'll check in right near where you are by Beaver Creek Sports. They're gonna have check in 8:30 to 9:30, and then at 10 a.m. they'll have either the 5K or the 10K, depending on what you want. I always like to do the 5K with my friends, and we would just catch
Yeah.
up and walk around and come back. They're gonna have a hot meal for you. They have raffle prizes. And then they're also giving away top honors to the top male and female in the category and overall. So you can come home with
Ooh.
something. Either you can earn it or you just, by luck, win it in the raffle.
Oh, actually, that sounds like a lot of fun. It's something maybe we'll have to put on our own list when we've got a free Saturday
Yeah.
morning to do that.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. And this is going to actually be on Sunday. So these
Oh,
are
Sunday.
on
Okay.
Sundays. Yep. And you know what? You get done early enough that you could still bring your skis and go skiing in the
Yeah.
afternoon. So you can get a little cardio, do that. So, and it's good to commit and get this done in advance because the price increases by $15 of the event. And you can buy the whole series if you want to just commit to doing it all, which I think,
Yeah.
that's a good incentive to get out there and exercise. And you'll see a different part of the mountain. So you'll see Creekside and you'll probably go down by the golf course. They do stuff up on McCoy Park. So it's definitely a lot of fun to check this out.
Oh, that does sound like a lot of fun and something different to do with friends. So if you've been having one of those New Year's resolutions about moving more, here's another great example. It makes it really easy to do it up in the valley.
I know. Hey, you know what? I know we've been talking about like I wanted to exercise more, I wanted to do
Yeah.
and eat better. Like so I've been on this 21-day reset. So I'm on day like 8. I'm doing okay. I have
Okay.
not cheated. I've not eaten one single piece of cheese. And that's probably what I miss most.
Nice.
And I've been getting up an hour earlier and I've been meditating and doing a half-hour yoga. And yesterday I skinned up a mountain
Ah.
after Beaver Creek closed. Tonight I'm going to skin up again with a headlamp. So, Heather, I'm trying to develop some good habits. We'll
And
see.
how do you feel? Do you feel more energetic already or not
Yeah.
quite yet?
Well, no,
I
I
think that's the
do.
nice
I do.
dichotomy. Yeah.
And there's no way that I could have done this on January 1. Like, I got to just kind of ease into it. But so it's
I think
okay.
this is getting to be more common. You don't have to commit to those things on Jan 1, right? There's nothing
Yeah.
magic about that day.
Yeah.
So maybe, especially if it's been a crazy season, waiting a little bit. So start today. It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be any specific time of year. I love that. That's amazing, Trisha.
Yeah. So, and you know what? It's so funny. I was sore from yoga. I'm like, sore from yoga, but it's like, hey, move it or
Yeah.
lose it. So you're using different muscles. I wanted to work on balance and cardio. I'll get some strength training in the gym one of these days as well. So, yeah. So cross your fingers. We'll see how long this lasts. But I feel good. You know what? I feel empowered because I'm actually
Yes.
able to do it. And I think that's the big thing is like I'm taking control of time. But hey, speaking of time, it's already
Absolutely.
7:46. We got to get going. We've got a lot more to tell you about. So we've got the ticket giveaway. We also have headlines. We have roads. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Nap Harvest. In January 2023, we are showcasing healthy habits. And you can start right here feeding your family healthy organic vegetables and fruits that are seasonal and local. They're all the way from Arizona with our wonderful, beautiful citrus fruits that we sneak across the border for. But don't forget our nap mushrooms, grown at 9,000 feet. Mushrooms are chock full of benefits for you. And then also the microgreens, also chock full of vitamins. Come see us at Nap Harvest in Eagle Ranch on Sylvan Lake Road next to Color Coffee. We're open 7 days a week, Monday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturdays and Sundays, 10 to 4.
We are back. Time to let you know what made headlines in today's Vail Daily for Tuesday, the 17th of January. And on the cover, new snow is good snow. New snow coats the town of Avon on Monday. More snow is forecasted to fall throughout the week. And you know what I want you to notice there in that photo is that side of the valley, which is normally can be pretty dry, that has a lot of snow on it. So that is a good indicator. Like I even had some people that came in during Christmas and they're like, wow, there was so much snow down in Eagle and there's so much snow on the other side of the valley because that's the north side, so it gets more sun. And so just a little observation for you that we're off to a good snow year. And that leads us into our headlines for today. A snowy season so far. Vail Mountain has now received more than 15 feet of snow for the 2023 season as storms continue to roll through the area. So, and more is forecasted through the week. Look at that. We got a little 7-year-old cruising through the trees on Vail Mountain on Monday. The mountain reported 7 inches of snow to start that ski day. Beaver Creek got 9 that day. And we could get maybe another 10 inches, 11 inches, almost a foot by end of Wednesday. So keep your fingers crossed. But other news, Vail revisits priorities to kick off the year. Town manager to share what he's heard from the council and community stakeholders. More on that on page A4. And also in today's paper, Dr. David Cook joins Vail Symposium on Wednesday. The topic is Understanding Greatness with Dr. David Cook. This will be from 6 to 7:30 over at the Edwards Interfaith Chapel in Edwards. And tickets are just $25 in advance or $35 the day of the program. And this is going to help you understand if you've ever watched a sporting event or wondered, how did that person get to be so good? or follow a team that rose from zero to hero, well, that's what they're going to be talking about. So it could be a great news. So learn more about the speaker today on page A9. And also in today's paper, hey, it's Vail Live and Town Talk. On page A10, you can see yourself in print, even with all the fun social media things that we do. It's kind of fun to see yourself in the paper. So submit your photos on Instagram using hashtag Vail Live to be in the Vail Live section. Or in Town Talk, you can always email towntalk@vaildaily.com, announce your birthday, announce an event, talk about the Vail Cup races. Your kids can go and race this weekend for free. So check that out. It's on page A8 in today's paper. So you can pick up the Vail Daily. It's free in newspaper dispensers all throughout the Vail Valley, or you can always go online, vaildaily.com. We'll have today's stories, archive stories. If you missed something, you can just get your entertainment newsletter, sign up for that. You can sign up for the sports newsletter and a whole lot more. And they also have breaking news alerts, so it's good to keep track of what's happening here in Eagle County. And speaking of breaking news, we could see some road closures as the day goes on. That winter weather advisory starts at 11 a.m. today, goes all the way through tonight to 5 p.m. tomorrow. Traffic is moving pretty smoothly right now. When I drove in, boy, a lot of splashback. You know, it was just wet enough. It was about 27 in Eagle. It turned to 25 once I got to Dow Junction, but that constant splashback. So I was using the windshield wiper fluid a lot this morning on my front windshield and my back windshield. So always make sure you're topping off that windshield fluid as you're going through. So commute should be pretty easy this morning if you're getting to Denver, but then later on today, things are probably going to deteriorate with the amount of snow that we expect to see out there. But okay, so let's talk a little bit about this ticket giveaway that we're doing. So tonight at the Vilar Performing Arts Center, which is in Beaver Creek, it's right below the ice rink. They're celebrating their 25th anniversary. We're going to have an evening program that's going to feature classical piano. So this is part of the Therese M. Grosjean Classical Series, and it's two brothers, Lucas and Arthur Giesen, which will be playing the piano. They're going to be playing a little Mendelssohn, some Schubert, some Ravel, some Stravinsky, and this is going to be just an amazing show. And there's a $10 student ticket. So anyone 22 years old, so college on down, college, high school, even grade school, if you have a child that's interested in piano or just music in general, hey, learn from these brothers right now. That'll be a $10 ticket. Otherwise, reserved seating will start at $45. The ticket is at 6:30 p.m. tonight. And just really neat to see any kind of show at the Vilar, but I think especially piano right there. It's such an intimate setting, about 530 seats. So we're going to be giving away those tickets on the show. So I'm going to give you a hint right now. I mean, I'm not doing any trivia or anything, but I'm going to give you the number. Okay, don't call now, but you can just write this down. Keep it handy. 970-376-2328. I've got the phone right here. So when we actually do this giveaway, probably a little after 8 o'clock or so, we'll be able to let you know what's going on. But let's bring in Heather and see where she's roamed off to. Okay, so right underneath that, people don't realize there are two levels of a theater, a huge theater.
Right below, right below. But I also wanted to point out the goggles because I feel like we talk about it a lot, but we're not necessarily on this side a lot. And it is still glowing, which I don't always see. So a little bit snow covered. Just one of those cool art installations that surrounds Beaver Creek that I think is just really neat to see.
Yeah, you know what? Beaver Creek installed these right before it was like, I think November of 2020, and you know, the pandemic and everything. And I actually did walking tours for their new installations. So that snow globe that's right by the ticket office, the skis that are right across from Beaver Creek Sports and the base of the escalators, that's part of it as well. And then these goggles. I'm not sure if they still have the chips truck around. That was kind of like a big bread truck.
Oh, I haven't seen that recently.
I haven't seen it either. And who knows? Maybe it's in the shop. You know, trucks. You never know. But it was really fun to showcase what these were all about. And the frost flowers behind you with the LED lighting.
Yeah.
So it's kind of these permanent art fixtures that are very Instagram worthy, very fun to check
Yes, they
out.
are.
Yeah. And
But
then
yeah,
one
but
thing,
like you said, right underneath is where the Vilar is. So it's all kind of right here in a very central area.
yes, yes. Oh, I can see it. I see the LED lighting in the goggle now. That's looking
Yeah,
cool.
it's kind of flashing.
And then one of the other things they added that year that isn't really a work of art, but it was part of this whole Beaver Creek Wonder. And you don't see them often because they're not on the rink all the time, but it's the ice bikes. And so they do the ice
Oh, yeah.
biking. So the public is invited to skate from 11 to 8 daily, but from 12 to 12:30 and then 12:30 to 1, you can rent these ice bikes and then again 8 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, and you can cruise around. They're like a beach cruiser, and instead of wheels, they're kind of on these blades, and they're on this big platform, so they're not going to tip over. There's no way you can fall. The center of gravity is so low, and you get a little exercise. Like you cruise around, you kind of work on the
Interesting.
turning, but it's just something different to try. So I would tell
Yeah,
people to maybe check that out. Because that's one of the Beaver Creek Wonder things, but it's the unseen one until you actually
right.
see someone out on the ice.
Now, I've seen those snow bikes before that people take on the mountain, which look absolutely terrifying to me, but this doesn't sound like it's the same.
No, no, no. That's fine. You know what? The snow bikes shouldn't terrify you. You know, they used to have these in
Ah,
Adventure
okay.
Ridge. No, because you know what? Your feet have these little short skis on them, and
Hmm.
they're kind of like your outriggers. So you're
Okay.
controlling how far side to side you go. And then you turn it
I
just
feel
like
like
your
I need
regular
brakes,
bike.
though.
No, you don't even brakes, but you kind of learn to kind of, skid it to
Switch
a
to the
to a
side.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Those are pretty fun. And you'll see people, actually Addie McCord, who's on ski patrol, has been on ski patrol forever. She has a run named after her right off Centennial Run.
Hmm.
She does the ski biking all the time. She it's just
Okay.
better on her knees and everything. So there
Sure.
there are some people that's all they do is ski bike now. So
Interesting. It's so funny. Whatever you haven't tried can sometimes seem a lot scarier than it should,
yeah.
which is definitely what my reaction is sometimes.
Yeah,
So
yeah. And you know
need
what?
to give that a shot.
Earl Eaton, who was the founder, co-founder with Pete Seibert, later in life, he was e-biking as well. So he's
Oh,
another
hey.
famous e-biker that would go, not e-biker. What am I talking about? Ski biker.
Ski biker.
Ski
There you go.
bikes. Sign of the times. We didn't even have e-bikes
That's
when
right.
Earl was doing that. But yeah, so Earl Eaton was a ski biker. And we used to have this calendar called the Vail Undressed calendar. And I do believe
Interesting.
that, and it was for charity. And a lot of locals have been in it. I've been in it with a group of ladies in media. But Earl, I think, was in it naked on the ski bike. So anyone that knows
Wow,
that
that
era,
that is dedication.
the Vail Valley Charitable Fund used to put that together. Oh, that's funny. That's
Oh,
if
that's
anyone,
hilarious.
we should see if anyone in the chat remembers that one. Yeah. Hey, and once again, if you want to chat with us, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook. You can chat with us during the live show on either YouTube or Facebook. And then, oh, yep, we're gonna say hi. Good morning from Todd, D. Graff, and Reed. Todd, where are you chiming in from? I need to know where you're at. And then over on Facebook, let me bring up Facebook and see if we've got any chatters. I can't wait for LA Lab Grouse. That's Lisa. She's coming in this weekend, and I want her to tell us about her experience in the Macy's Day Parade. So
Ooh.
she got to walk in it. So that's what I want to find out. So, all right. So yeah. So chat with us. Let us know what you want to know about for today. But yeah. So we do have that giveaway going on at the Vilar, and you've been to shows at the Vilar, right?
Definitely. Yep, I have one on Saturday. This will be my second of the season. Great place to see just about anybody. And a lot of times we'll go when we don't actually know who the performer or the artist is. And it's always been excellent. So, hey, even if you haven't heard of these piano brothers, I bet it's going to be a great show. Very much up my alley. I'm a big classical music person as well. So,
Oh
pretty much
yeah.
all music.
Yeah, this should be good. And they're young. They're Lucas is 29, Arthur is 25, so or 26. They've been doing this a while. I'm sure, just like ski racers, they've been doing this a while. But you're going to go you're going this Saturday?
Yeah, to Joe Nichols concerts. I
Hey,
think you and
I
I were
am
talking about it a
too.
little bit.
Yeah,
Oh, no
I'm gonna go too.
way.
And we're actually gonna interview Joe this morning. We're gonna have a little interview at 11 a.m.
Awesome.
So we'll be playing that. So yeah, so we'll give you some details about Joe, and he's had a long history. I mean, I think he's been performing since he was 19. I think it was like, you know,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So he's had about a 20-year career going and spanning, kind of the different styles of like the classic country to a little bit more of the new, and but he kind of keeps to his roots. But yeah, he was back on tour again this fall. He's doing an unplugged show, so we won't have the band behind him. But okay, cool. Heather, are you wearing your cowboy hat?
I do have a really awesome, always call it my fancy hat.
Okay.
So I think that'll be the one if I'm going to put one on that is going to be the cowboy boots available right now. I've got to figure out where I put those.
Oh
How
yeah, yeah,
about you?
yeah. Yeah, but you know what? I got a couple. I got quite a few pair in like every color. So I got some new Python boots. So I'm wearing those. So
Oh, that sounds perfect.
yeah, yeah. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this. So Vilar Center, we're going to be giving away these tickets for classical piano happening tonight at 6:30. So we're going to just give you once again a look at the number 376-2328, area code 970. Not quite yet. Let's wait about another 10 minutes. Okay, cool. All right, so let's go to a commercial break. We've got more to tell you about. We're going to do an Ask the Doctor. Unfortunately, people get hurt out here, but we've got some of the best at Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery. So we'll get to that, but we'll take a break first.
Dr. Terrell Joseph with Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery, and specialize in upper extremity and knee surgery, and today we're going to be talking about wrist injuries. So I'm going to reach in and pull out the question down in this boot. Can skiing make carpal tunnel worse? Skiing doesn't really make carpal tunnel worse. Carpal tunnel syndrome is a nerve compression. It's right here in this area of the wrist. Biking does make it worse with gripping and grasping like that, and most patients complain of numbness and tingling at night. Gripping a ski pole like that maybe could aggravate it, but that's not typical. How can you tell the difference between a wrist sprain and a broken wrist? So a couple of clues. Sprains don't typically make the wrist or any joint black and blue. That's always suspicious of a fracture, and that can be applied to anywhere, including the wrist. If you press on your bone and it hurts a lot, well, that's probably suspicion for a fracture. If you push on a joint, the joint is where the ligaments live. So you got a joint where the ligaments live, and then you have the bone, and that's the difference in our world. And again, that can be applied to everywhere in the body. So if you're hurting on your bone and you're black and blue, that's an x-ray. What are the most common wrist injuries you see during winter? By far, the most common wrist injury we see is what's called a distal radius fracture. So this is the radius bone right here. It twists like that, the radius of curvature. And when patients fall and land like that, the by far most common fracture is a distal radius fracture. And so even if it's a bad fracture and it needs surgery, which we do all winter long, almost weekly, they do excellent. They tend to all heal, and the function is restored, and so it's a pretty good bone to break if you have to break a bone. How long is too long for a wrist to hurt? Wrist is hurting for more than about 2 weeks, then you probably should have it looked at. Most ligament sprains in the body and in the wrist included will get significantly better or go away within about 2 weeks. If 2 weeks has gone by and the pain is the same, especially if you load up a joint or load up a bone and it creates increased pain, then we worry that there could be a fracture. Thanks for joining us at Vail Valley Live. Ask a Doctor.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery stands for providing the highest quality of care to our unique patient population here in the mountains.
I think that what makes us unique is that we really are practicing groundbreaking techniques, yet, we practice it in a small town environment. Our patients are our neighbors, and our kids go to school with their kids.
I think every one of our docs treat their patients like their family. Our goal is to keep you active, doing the things you want to do, and we'll map out a road to success to get you there.
We are back. Want to say hello, Missouri. That's where Todd is chiming in from. Todd, are you coming out here? Are you going to be skiing, riding at all? The season's been great. We got 1 inch of new snow in the last 24 hours, but we have maybe another 10 inches, 11 inches forecast in the next 24 to 36 hours. We're going to be in a winter storm advisory from 11 a.m. today to about 5 p.m. on Thursday. And we're going to see lots of snow starting coming our way. So today, we'll probably see that coming in later this afternoon. You're good to go this morning. The roads are looking pretty good this morning as well, just quite a bit of splashback. And then tonight, we'll have snow showers, heavy at times. We got a 90% chance of snow tonight into tomorrow. And then your Wednesday, we'll see highs right around the mid 20s. And the wind will be maybe about 10 miles per hour with gusts as high as 20. So visibility could be an issue tomorrow. And new snow accumulation 2 to 4 inches possible tomorrow, maybe 3 to 7 tonight. So when it's all said and done, Open Snow is predicting that maybe we could get a foot or close to it, maybe an inch or two away. A foot at Beaver Creek, maybe 11 inches at Vail throughout that heavy snow period on Wednesday. And then we'll take a little break in the action as far as snow is concerned, and then we'll ramp up at the end of the weekend with another storm, bringing us a moderate amount, 2-3 inches, couple inches throughout the next couple of days. So that's look at your weather. Let's talk about the mountains right now. So the lifts are opening at 8:30. So you've got about 25 minutes to get down there. Vail, Beaver Creek, everything opens at the same time. For that, and according to the Vail Daily yesterday, they were bringing the chairs on. They've got to do some load haul testing, and they're expecting to open it up sometime between January 21st, 22nd, 23rd. So this weekend is when we hope to have that rope drop, and maybe there'll be a ribbon cutting ceremony. Sometimes they give away some pins. There's just a lot of excitement around this new lift that's going in for Vail's 60th anniversary. Now, over at Beaver Creek, let's bring in Heather. We'll talk a little bit about what's going on at the Beeve. And, Heather, so many fun places to go. You were out there yesterday. We were talking
Yes,
about McCoy Park.
I was.
But we've got the Talents Challenge coming up. Now, have you ever done this?
So I volunteer with SOS Outreach, and so they are one of the big beneficiaries of the Talons Challenge. So I have been the person in the line. So if you were there last year and we were kind of coloring in those little sections, that's how I've done it. I haven't actually gotten to do the event because we've been volunteering at the event since I probably was ready to do it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so the Talents Challenge is going to be going on February 25th and 26th. You could do it either on Saturday or on Sunday. You can't split up the 26,000 vertical feet and the 14 runs. You got to do it all in one day. And Heather, there's been people that they'll do it on their skis and then they'll do it on their snowboard or telemark
Which
skis.
is pretty impressive. I mean, that's doing it twice. It's already a lot in one day. So if you're out there doing it twice, I think you get definite bonus points, at least from me, for doing all of that work.
Definitely. And you know what? I always say if you're a Vail skier, this is your time to come to Beaver Creek, especially if you love bumps and steeps, because I think, these are some of the steepest and longest runs in Eagle County. And, a lot of people think, oh, Vail, back bowls, da-da-da. No, come over here. Come over here, try this challenge out, and you tell me, let me know what you think about that. But I think afterwards, you're going to hit the hot tub and have a beer for sure. But one thing to mention about this, you don't want to just do this straight off the couch. You want to be working on bumps leading up to this.
Yeah, maybe even doing, dividing it up and almost training for it, right? So maybe one day you do all of the runs on grouse to prepare,
Yeah.
and then another day you do all of the runs on birds of prey, and just kind of work your way up so that day is a stretch, but it's not that you haven't been riding it. Because just like Trisha said, it's a lot of work when you're doing bumps. I tend to say downhill isn't a huge workout once you're used to it. But when you add in all those bumps and you're doing that many vertical feet, I think no matter who you are, it's a little bit of work.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely is. And just having that right technique and try to roll through them. And you don't know what the weather conditions are going to be that day. It'd be great
Right.
if it was a nice, fluffy 6 inches or more, maybe 10 inches. Yeah,
Right.
great. But you know what? We could have a dry spell. They could be as large as Volkswagens in there, and then you're going through
Hmm.
them, a little icy. So we don't know what it's going to be like at the end of February.
Yeah, I think last year's conditions were pretty epic. I was a little disappointed that I was the person in the ticket line and not on the mountain. So maybe with our awesome snowy trend we've had, if that continues, it's a really great fun event when everything is nice and soft, especially on a board. I tend to think it's a little bit harder to do that many bumps on a board,
Yeah.
but I also love bumps. So it's not that it's not going to be fun. I think it's still a really wonderful event, just a little bit more challenging as we get so many skiers. I feel like the shape of the bump, this might not be true, but in my head, the shape of the bump is a little bit more small and round when it's mostly skiers. You get those longer bumps when it's mostly boarders, and so it kind of
Yeah.
changes depending on who has kind of tracked out that ungroomed space.
Definitely, definitely. So you can get yourself signed up for this. Afterwards, they're gonna have, you get some fun swag. They're gonna have lunch and a drink right down there at Talon's. So you can go to beavercreek.com. This is under their signature events tab. So check that out. So that's a good way to think about things. But Heather, should we do this giveaway?
Yes, and I don't know if you noticed, I'm right in front of one of the escalators down to the Vilar. So if I know that we've always talked about this is tricky to find. So if you came in through the covered bridge where I started today, and you just walk through by the ice rink, you'll see these escalators right behind me that'll take you underneath.
Yeah, yeah, and the Vilar Center is right there. You've seen the Chihuly chandelier. That was the
Hmm.
25th anniversary. It's hard to believe that that ice rink and the Vilar has been there now for a quarter of a century. And what
Pretty
what a
cool.
great amenity to our valley. So if you have a chance to see a show there, like Heather and I said, we're going to Joe Nichols this weekend. I mean, like, take a look at the calendar. Vilar
Yeah.
PAC, which stands for Performing Arts Center, .org, and that'll give you the details on who's coming. Any other shows you're going to try to see this winter?
I'm sure we're going to try to hit at least another one or two. The Bella Fleck with the symphony is another one that's
Yeah.
kind of on my radar. I haven't booked tickets yet, but it is one that sounds really fun. I love when anybody plays with the symphony orchestra. See, I'm a classical music kind of person, so that one's kind of
Yeah.
fun. A
Well,
little
and
bit of
then,
country this weekend, and then that.
yeah, and then have you heard Samantha Fish? I mean,
I
that
have
gal
heard of this.
rocks.
Yeah, that one is Friday night, I
Yeah, that's
believe. Is
gonna be
that right?
yeah, you know what? That's actually Thursday. So January
Thursday. Okay.
19th. Yeah, wow. So this should be pretty cool. Opener is going to be Eric Johansson. So we've got a couple opportunities for you. You can take a look at the whole calendar on the website. We got a little more comedy coming our way. We just had Joe Farah the other week, and we've got Piff the Magic Dragon coming up. So that should be pretty awesome. Also, Justin Willman, he's going to be bringing his comedy. They've got two shows with Justin, one at 4:30 and one at 7:30, and then Legally Blonde the musical. That should be awesome to see as well.
I bet that would be hilarious. Only having seen the movie, I think that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just want to see all the costumes and what Al
Yes.
Wood is going to do on stage. All right. Well, let's give people a chance to win tickets to tonight. So once again, Lucas and Arthur Jewson. These are pianos. It's not dueling pianos. These people are classical pianists. They're going to be playing tonight at 6:30. Tickets start at 45. Student ticket is 10, but guess what? You can get it for free right now. They're going to be playing Mendelssohn, Schubert, Ravel, and Stravinsky tonight. So if you want to win, here is the number to call. It's 970-376-2328. Call right now. and you could win these tickets to the Vilar Performing Arts Center. I do believe that you can, with your ticket, you're able to get some free parking right there, right next to the Vilar. Down below, you just tell them that you were at the show and show them your ticket stub. But this is going to be great. So once again, 376-2328. Okay, let's take it to a commercial break. We've got a lot more coming up on Vail Valley Live.
Vail Summit Orthopedics and Neurosurgery stands for providing the highest quality of care to our unique patient population here in the mountains.
I think that what makes us unique is that we really are practicing groundbreaking techniques, yet, we practice it in a small town environment. Our patients are our neighbors and our kids go to school with their kids.
I think every one of our docs treat their patients like their family. Our goal is to keep you active, doing the things you want to do, and we'll map out a road to success to get you there.
Hi, I'm Tess Johnson. I was born and raised in Vail, Colorado, and we're here at Yeti's Grind in Vail. I'm a U.S. ski team member, World Cup skier on the FIS Freestyle Tour. I'm drinking a chocolate mint latte. Growing up in Vail was a really special experience. I think I am who I am because of this valley and the people in it, and I definitely wouldn't be where I am in the ski industry if I wasn't on skis at 2 years old in Beaver Creek. So I credit Vail and this entire community for where I am today.
Tess Johnson, and we are ready at the top.
Every step of the way in my ski career and just in my life, I've felt the Vail community right next to me. When I made the Olympics in 2018, it was kind of a surprise. I was the underdog. My family definitely didn't buy plane tickets ahead of time. And when I made it, we had about 10 days for my family to figure out how to get there. And the entire community created a GoFundMe to raise money for my family to come all the way to South Korea and watch me compete. I really wouldn't be where I am, but also who I am without this community. I think when I say I'm from Vail, I just feel so much pride. So I started mogul skiing when I was 9 years old. My neighbors down the street were a part of the bump program here in Vail, and we skied highline on Chair 9 10 times. It was 10 on 10, and I remember thinking it was just the most awesome thing of all time. I told my mom, I was like, I think bumps is kind of my calling, and she signed me up for bumps and jumps, and I never looked back. I think that first day on Chair 10 really started my passion for the sport, and I love going back there over Christmas and whenever I can to kind of reignite that passion and just remember why I do this sport. I think 2 accomplishments in my career stand out to me the most. The first one would be becoming an Olympian in 2018. That was always one of my biggest dreams in this sport, and to do it at 17 years old with my whole family there in Korea was just magical. And the second one would be my team's World Cup sweep in Deer Valley, Utah in 2021. My teammate Kai Owens and Hannah Soar and I swept the podium for the first time in history. And that was just unreal to do on home soil in front of our family and friends. To all be holding the American flag together on that podium was really so special. Words can't really describe how I felt in that moment. The advice I would give my younger self would be to remember why I ski. And I think that has helped me a ton in the tougher moments in my career. My passion for mogul skiing was born with friends on Vail Mountain, and I think all of that helps me get through some of the tougher times in which I get a little bit too wrapped up in the outcome and the results. And I think if I can remember why I do it a little bit more often, I'll be just fine. Once again, I'm Tess Johnson. This has been the Yeti's Grind Coffee Chat.
Hi, my name is Carrie Maywack, and I'm with the Eagle Valley Library District, and today I'm at our Eagle branch featuring our Spark Studio. So this is our maker space lab, or the place where you can come try new technology. We have software, hardware, pretty much anything that you can use to make and create. We have some sort of version in our maker space. Thanks for checking out the Spark Studio with me today. Make sure to come back to the Eagle Public Library and check it out for yourself.
We are back. I want to give you one last look at the weather. If you're just joining us this morning, we're going to see some snow throughout the day. We have a winter storm advisory heading our way, starting at 11 a.m. this morning, going until 5 p.m. on Wednesday. So what that's going to mean is heavy snow, especially tonight. So the snow probably won't pick up till later this afternoon. So if you're driving, if you need to get to Denver, you may want to go a little bit early. Temperatures on the mountain right now, 12 at Beaver Creek, 11 over at Vail. When I drove in, it was about 27 down in Edwards at about 7 a.m. and then about 25 once we got through Dow Junction. So a little bit warmer on the valley floor. I would definitely dress for the elements. It's only going to get into the low 30s today. We won't have the sunshine, so you won't have that as kind of solar heat warming you up. So dress for the elements, dress to stay out there as well. Wind about 10 miles per hour becoming west by this afternoon. But according to the National Weather Service, we're going to have the snow showers likely today and then tonight. Heavy snow, 90% chance of snow tonight, 90% chance of snow showers tomorrow. Temperatures tomorrow only in the 20s for tomorrow. Overnight lows all throughout the week. We're dipping down into the single digits. By Thursday, we could see a little bit of a break in the clouds, see a little bit of sunshine before we start to see the cloud cover come in Thursday night into Friday. But these storms won't be as much. What Open Snow is predicting as far as snow totals is concerned is maybe 10, 11 inches, maybe even a foot up at Beaver Creek. We did get 1 inch of new snow in the last 24 hours at Vail and 1 inch new at Beaver Creek. But check it out. So Wednesday is kind of the big day of when all this could start to add up. And then we take a little break in the action. And then by Sunday, we start to see another chance of showers. But we won't see the accumulation like we are seeing out of this storm system. So what's that going to mean for the roads? It could be difficult driving, especially tonight and overnight. So definitely be careful, allow plenty of extra time. Tomorrow morning, that commute could be a little different. So make sure you're maybe waking up a little bit early just to get a jump on what's happening. Right now, the roads are looking pretty smooth. I was mentioning earlier that I just had a lot of splashback coming through. I was using my windshield wipers fluid all the drive in this morning. It was a little annoying, but as long as you've got extra in the car, use it. Make sure you use it because you want to see and make sure you're being a safe driver, but making sure you're using all the tools so you can see everything. On the mountain today, we're going to be opening up the lifts in about 7 minutes. So that's Gandhi 1, Gandhi 19, Chair 8, Chair 6 over at Golden Peak, Chair 20 right here at the Grand Hyatt Vail, and then over at Beaver Creek. Hey, if you're staying in Avon, you can always, if you're close enough to the Westin, walk to the Westin, get on the gondola, or you can take that in-town shuttle, and that'll bring you to the Westin stop. And then from there, take the gondola up. You can go up the lower Beaver Creek Mountain Expressway to start skiing Arrowhead and Bachelor Gulch, or take the upper and get yourself all the way to the new McCoy Park that opened up last year, Strawberry Park, taking you to Main Mountain, Larkspur. So there's a couple different ways to navigate getting on and off the mountain. And at the end of the day, you can take Leave the Beeve, and that'll get you right to the lift back to the Westin. So kind of a neat thing if you don't need to go up to main Vail Village. But speaking of the village and Beaver Creek, let's bring in Heather and talk about a few more things going on. All right, what does the line look like this morning?
Starting to have a few people in line, but not bad. So I see probably about 10 to 15 people on the gondola side of things, maybe about the same on the chair side. That's actually my favorite part about the Centennial Lift is that you can take a gondola up if you want to, which at the start of the day is kind of nice because you haven't really warmed up from riding yet and you can stay a little bit more comfy cozy.
Yeah, you know what? I like taking the gondola on the cold days or on days when I'm trying to still get some work done because then I just I totally try to do some emails and stuff on the ride up. So it's kind of like your little remote office. I'm working remotely.
Absolutely. That's the perfect way to say it. A much prettier backdrop than a lot of indoor offices, right?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Hey, so a few things going on this week at Beaver Creek. So they've got the caricatures with Ken Carpenter later on this afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m. down at the plaza. Grab your chocolate chip cookie. We have cookie time at 3 p.m. But they also do this thing each week called Ski with a Ranger. And you could ski or snowboard with a Ranger, but it's called Ski with a Ranger.
Yeah.
You meet the representative from the U.S. Forest Service or a Walking Mountains representative. Walking Mountains teams up with Beaver Creek to have this happen. You go up Centennial Express, chair number 8. You meet by patrol headquarters. And from there, it's about an hour long. It doesn't take much time. It's 1:30 to 2:30. And I think it's just such a nice way to spend your day because they teach you all about the acreage of national forest land that we get to utilize. They also talk about which animals have not gone into hibernation, like who's still around, which birds didn't fly south. They show you, they talk about the trees, they talk about just the history of it. So it's a really nice little condensed tour into 1 hour. And you're going to keep that knowledge. Like every time you come back to Beaver Creek, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I learned that little fun fact last year when I was on the Ski with a Ranger tour. So it's a pretty cool thing to do.
That sounds really fun. I've done something similar on the snowshoe side of things. And same thing. It's where I learned that if you rub an aspen tree, you get a little bit of aspirin, I guess. And that's what the deer use before they go into labor. So these are like the cool things that you would never know if you don't do events like that, where you learn a little bit about everything around you, which is super cool.
Oh yeah, and just the history, it's pretty amazing. And then another thing going on today, back over in Vail Village, we have the Vail History Tours. And I think with this being the Vail's 60th anniversary, so important to look back and learn about some of the stories and the pioneers, if you will. 1962, December 15th is when we opened this. This is Ron Mooney. He's going to be leading the tour. He leads the tour quite a bit. They have a few others. But he's standing in front of that 10th Mountain Division statue. He'll tell you a little bit about that because that group has a lot to do with our ski history and ski history throughout the United States. And it's just $10 per person. Kids are free. And it starts at 11 a.m., goes for about an hour, but it also just depends on how many questions are being asked. And Ron and the other staff members are more than happy to answer your questions. So it's Tuesdays and Thursdays throughout the season, and just a really nice way to spend your day.
Oh, that's really neat. I love seeing the 10th Mountain Parade, and just anytime you get to support them and learn from these guys and just hear the stories is just a really interesting and unique experience.
Yeah, definitely. And then later tonight, we've got plenty of music. We've got Chuck Grossman. He'll be playing at the Vail Chop House. Matt Garth is down at the Drunken Goat. A lot of people just think opera happens on Bridge Street and in Beaver Creek Village. Not the case. If you're staying down Valley, maybe at the Inn at Riverwalk, walk on over to the Drunken Goat. That could be a good place to go. Moe's Original Barbecue in Lion's Head. They're going to be having some live music with Skin the Rabbit. Andy Seifert's going to be at the Red Lion. And Heather, I don't know if you were watching the football game last night. You know, Tom Brady's last game, the Dallas Cowboys actually beat the Buccaneers last night, and kind of no surprise. They kind of had that little comeback. But where would you want to go and watch football? We've got all the playoff games happening right now for NFL.
I know. Yeah. So I think for me, just being in Edwards, E-Town is always a really great place to go. But there's so many places that have TVs here. I think you shared with me last time that even just here at the Chop House sometimes has really great, easy place to watch some football and make sure you're catching up. I tend to be more of a college person, but my husband was watching the pro game last night, so it was on.
Yeah, totally. And I think also Dusty Boot, they're going to have some TVs for you. The Coyote, you know, they underwent a big remodel. You know, they closed last ski season. They expanded, they blew out a wall, expanded, moved the bar. So have you been there since they reopened?
We walked in yesterday and I went, what in the world? Like, I was so confused because it looks totally different. It's really nice. It's a big open space. It seems like they can fit more people than they used to. Not that it was ever a small space to begin with. So
yeah, they definitely can. So a couple of cool things, a couple of great places to look. You know, go do some opera this afternoon. If you're going to catch the games this weekend, plenty of places for you to do so. But hey, we're going to sign off. Heather, any parting thoughts? Any words of wisdom getting out there on the hill today?
I think getting out today and then maybe seeing if you can block off a few hours tomorrow morning and sneak out again. Because if the snow comes in, it's going to be a really nice day tomorrow as well.
Yeah, and you know what? And if you can't quite do tomorrow, maybe even Thursday could be the ticket.
Yeah, both.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, work harder today so you can take some time off. All right. And if you're on the vacation, get out of bed, get ready, get going.
Every day.
Because it's going to be good. All right. Want to thank Todd for chiming in today from Missouri, and all of our viewers today. Thanks for chiming in. You can watch us any time of the day on YouTube or Facebook. You can chat with us when we're doing the live show, 7:30 to 8:30 Mountain Standard Time. And then also, we are on Channel 17 Outside TV daily at 7:30 as well. So thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow at 7:30.